So I asked him, like, what do you do? And he was just like, I talk to a man about a dog, but I don't touch the dogs. Mm-hmm. So basically, I dated Ghost.
Assassin.
The Black Season 2, one take one.
Hi, I'm Tony Mack, director, filmmaker and storyteller. Last season, we started conversations around love, healing and transparency within our community. Now let's delve deeper and continue this discourse with some new and amazing voices. This is Dating Black.
It's so love, 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 it's so love.
If your love life had a movie title, what would it be?
It is well. The Nollywood story of trials and tribulations and overcoming.
Like, the first word that came to my mind was tragic.
Anything positive?
There is, but I don't know. I feel like it's just me.
Woo chow. That's what I'll call it.
I know, that's a hard one, you know.
Woo chow.
Would it be 2 CDs?
It would even be 4.
Part one, part
And they would even be in slips with pictures of Beyonce and Rihanna on top of it. It was all a dream.
Oh.
That's good. That's good, actually. That's good, actually. I have to be honest. Yes, no, but then it's a dream in the end.
I hope so.
Did you read Word Up magazines?
Yeah.
Do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
Yes. Is that the one? That was it, innit? Yeah, perfect. Spike Lee, Do the Right Thing, my life. Yeah. Mysterious.
I like that.
I think that's a better way to describe it. Mysterious.
What genre?
A comedy. Hilarious. What I'll call it. Very funny.
Mine would be tragedy.
That's the second tragedy we had.
I was going to say Us, but Us is like so like, do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Us is a horror film.
That's what I'm saying, like, but I don't know.
It'd be in Hollywood because there's bits where the scene is too long and that scene and that season goes on for too long. Maybe it'll just be called BIM, like Beyonce.
Does the amount of money you have matter when dating?
Yeah.
That's it.
Do you know what? The reason I say that is because I've done struggle, money, love.
Ooh.
Genuinely, I feel like if we were both in a better place financially, we might have even still been together today.
Not how much money I have. I know it sounds really weird, but I'm not really thinking, do I have enough to be dating right now?
I'm good, you know. My partner just needs to know that I might be the one bringing home more money. And as long as they take care of what needs to be taken care of and we have that mutual understanding, there's communication, then we're good to go because the way I grind, I'm going to be bringing in money. If you want to match it, you match it. If not, we join forces together.
I think where my partner is financially and in life is, I'd be lying if I said it didn't matter.
You need to be up, I need to be up. Even when I'm not up, I don't like getting into stuff. I don't like dating. I feel like, and I'll depend on you and I don't want to depend on you at all, ever. Like, but I also want to know that if I want a new bag, babe, I want a new bag. What the hell? I'm confused. If I want a new bracelet, hello? And I don't want to pay for it myself. I mean, I can get it myself, but I want you to get it for me. And that's guy or girl, so please.
You're like, you don't
Listen, I don't discriminate.
Someone introduces you to a billionaire who's 20 years older than you and wants to marry you right now. What do you do?
What else do I do? I marry him.
You marry him.
Even if you're not attracted to him?
You marry him. Yeah.
I'm getting married.
Oh my God. That was too quick.
No, it's not.
Listen, you got to play it smart in this world, all right? Marry the billionaire and secure yourself something, all right?
He's an uncle.
He's an uncle.
An uncle. But you might grow to fancy him.
I doubt it.
Like, do you know what I mean?
She said uncle.
Some people like
That
uncles
means he's
after
going
all.
to be messaging me instead of am. Already, I said no.
So where I'm working right now, there's a guy there that's dated really rich guys, Saudi, like he's dated like really rich guys. And he said something that I think is how I would be. He doesn't like how they feel like they have ownership. Freedom is such a big element of what I think a good quality of life is.
I would say, well, no, I have to be in love.
Billionaire.
I know. Love can grow.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so we'll be engaged till I fall in love. I'll get all of the This is like I can build my own billion with his billions while we're engaged.
Saying.
I mean, I don't know. I just feel like, first of all, like, okay, put money aside. I just feel like looks is not the end all be all. Like, you can later find someone attractive based off of something else. You know, they can make up for it in other areas.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like that is so beautiful to say.
But
it is not the real.
Right.
When you do not fancy someone, even if they've got money, like you will be sick in your throat.
Oh my.
Like, because you don't fancy them.
Looks will fade. Like, we will get old one day. So there has to be like weight in your character, your mannerisms, in just you as a person.
Have you ever dated someone with any form of health issue? And what was that like? So it could be mental or physical.
I've dated someone who pretended to have mental health issues.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was hell. I will put it as it was. It was simply and utterly hell.
I haven't dated anyone with like a long-term health problem. I have dated someone who broke his Achilles. I feel like sometimes when people get into like those situations, like if they can't get around how they normally do, I feel like you kind of see who they truly are.
I think I dated somebody who I think was in a really low place in their life, which was calm because I also was not in the best place. So we were like really kind to one another.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Some men don't like vocalize when they're in pain and stuff. So I think he was one of those type of people. Like, he would be in excruciating pain and just wouldn't say.
Like how? What was he doing for him to be in such pain?
So he had like an AVM. It's like when your veins and your arteries like mesh together.
Oh.
I would say I've dated someone who suffered from depression and anxiety, but I think what was really difficult about that was they were in denial about it. So it's really hard to help someone when they don't even accept that they're going through something or they might have a mental health concern.
I did. So this was like a while back, but he was just going through, like, the best way I would just describe it was like he was fighting his own demons, and I tried to be there the best that I could, but obviously looking back now, like, I was really young and like naive, and that turned into quite like a narcissistic situation.
I would say be very sure in yourself when you're going into dating anybody. It had a complete knock on my life where I was going in one direction, it was like a train track going in one direction, he just completely knocked me off track.
It can kind of put you off sometimes, but also like, I think when I'm in those situations and I'm kind of ill or whatever, like I still have to pull myself up and get the job done. But maybe that's a woman thing.
That situation did help me mature so much, and I was just like, I will never, ever, ever like give myself like that ever again. And I think maybe that's why like I'm just so quick to cut people off, because the moment I spot something that's just off, I'm like, nah, I'm not with it.
I can't lie, our mental well-being is so important, but a lot of time people don't understand how fragile it can be. So there has been instances where I'm like, oh, babes, like, I think there's a moment we need to maybe do therapy, or we need to sit down. Like, I can't handle what's happening here, and I don't think you even understand like how huge or whatever's happening.
Are 50-50 relationships healthy in terms of traditional gender roles?
I don't know about this, because in my head, it sounds perfect because, yeah, we can help each other out. Stuff like cooking or cleaning. So I think it makes sense to be 50-50.
I don't necessarily feel like it's a realistic approach. Everyone's bringing something different to the relationship. So for me, how do we evenly split that with, like, you might be great completely at that and I might be great completely at this, and we should just split it that way.
I do like to be taken care of. That would be nice. So if I can just do all the stuff that is kind of natural to me, then fine.
For me, reciprocity isn't, I phone you every morning. So if I phone you 3.5 days, you phone me 3.5. You might just wake up before me and do the good morning, like, you're right, babe, what's going on?
What is your biggest dating or relationship regret?
Have you got this?
I love how you did that.
You want to say this one?
You take this one.
Staying too long.
Yeah, I think so.
When you break up with the person, you're angry at them first, or they're the problem, they're the horrible ones. But then there comes a period of time where, and it's the worst part, where you have to look at what you enabled or what you did.
I feel like whoever I'm ending it with, like, they don't give me like do you know, like, pointers? It's like, okay,
Closure.
what could, not even closure, like, what could I could have done? Because I'm telling you, oh, this X, Y, Z. But it's not like you're coming back to me and saying, oh, yeah, and you, blah, blah, blah.
I did kind of lose myself, but I didn't know that I lost myself a bit. I was like way more like a goofier version of myself when I was younger, and like I just really didn't care what people had to say. But then eventually I felt like I became a very toned down version of myself.
My biggest regret was losing myself in a relationship. And I really didn't think I would be that girl until I left the relationship and I was told, yeah, you went missing, man. Like, hearing that from your loved ones is really disappointing because I was in a bubble and I didn't realise until the bubble popped.
Not showing up, like I think, I wouldn't say I've got like a bit of masculine energy, but I've got mad pride. And so sometimes I don't want to show you too much if you're not showing me too much. And then I walk away if the situation hasn't worked or if I feel like it's come to a halt, and I start thinking, oh, maybe if I'd just been honest, or maybe if I'd just shown up a little bit more.
I think in everyone's story, they're never the villain kind of thing.
I think to like go off the back of that as well, I think a lot of the times the red flags that you see in the beginning are the reasons why you break up.
It's hard to move past something when you know, had you met not my representative, but if you met Mimi, you'd have been dead for it. Do you know what I mean? But then I didn't do that because I was like, I ain't gonna do that.
What do you date for? Do you date to marry, fun?
Marry? Everyone's trying to get married.
I always get looks when I say this, but I definitely date for fun because I feel like it takes the pressure off of dating in general. I feel like there's so much pressure on us when it comes to dating. Like, oh, he hasn't done this by this and he hasn't done that, and she hasn't done this, and oh my gosh, I don't feel this way. But it's like, once you take that pressure off yourself and you date for fun, I date for fun until I find that person that I'm ready to be a little bit more serious with, if that makes sense. I feel like that's how dating should be, really.
I think now I'm not like with vibes.
Yeah, you used to be a vibes babe.
Yeah, I used to, what?
You used to be a vibes babe.
Vibes in what sense?
Oh my God, like I never, in it, I was like not really on commitment. I was just like, wherever like the wind blows, I'm going.
And I think you used to look at me as in you're overthinking, you're doing too much.
I did.
Yeah, I know you did.
I'm a bit delusional, so I would say that I date for fun, but when I get in it, I'm like, yeah. I was kind of get territorial. I'm like, you're mine. Like, what do you mean to answer my phone call? That doesn't make sense.
Why did you just laugh at that person's joke? What the hell?
I mean? But then when the feelings start feeling, like, there's like a word, you see what I'm doing here. But when it starts feeling, I want commitment. I want to feel like I have a partner. I want to feel like I have companionship. Like, I want to feel like I got someone.
I'm dating for marriage. I'm dating for stability. I'm dating for consistency. I'm dating for reliability. I'm dating for love.
So you don't want to get married?
That's debatable right now. If I get married, it'll be mainly because of stability, and that's trauma.
I definitely hear that.
It's telling me that stability is needed. And obviously there's a lot of benefits from getting married. Like, come on guys, let's think like monetary wise, you know what I mean? Taxes and stuff like that.
I like to feel like this person gets me.
Yeah.
And they can see that I'm special and important and they treat me like that. That's what makes intimacy wavy to me. That's what makes sex wavy to me. When I feel like we could have every other choice. I'm a beautiful woman. I have choices, but I'm choosing to be here with you.
I actually can't wait to get married. Like, genuinely. I have I'm such a cringe. My husband might be watching this laughing at me right now, but it doesn't matter. I have you know on Instagram how you can have your little saved folders? I have my saved engagement rings.
Really?
I have dresses that I like.
Same.
Honestly,
I do on Pinterest.
Same. I just love it. I'm like, oh. So one day.
We've all heard of red flags. What are your green flags? We're dating.
I was about to think, damn, where are we going with this?
Your reaction was amazing.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
Are these green flags are just what I want?
The person needs to be kind, man. I need to deal with a kind person. And I feel like once you deal with a kind person, someone that's thoughtful, someone that's respectful, someone that's understanding, everything just kind of falls in line.
For me, I don't know, I really like empathy. Because I don't just want you to understand what I'm going through. I want you to go through it with me. And that's one quality that I spotted really earlier on with my now husband that just made me want him. You know, whatever I go through, I know it's not just going to be, oh, you know, but it's going to be like, oh, you know?
And just have fun. Like, you
Oh
can
my
be stupid.
gosh,
Like, you with your man, them, you with your girls, like, kiss me through the phone. Tell me love me now.
Right now.
And you're not like, do not like have fun. Like, you can actually make a fool of yourself.
Do you know what is a green flag? If the guy has a relationship with his dad, or like he loved his dad or whatever. Like that is I've over the years. I've realised that when they have like that solid relationship with their father, they're just so much different. Like
they have a role model.
Open communication is such a green flag. Like, and when people hear communication, they just hear speaking your emotions, but also being able to listen and dissect what I'm saying and understanding.
The relationship you have with your mum as a man, I feel, leads and determines how you view and treat women.
I think my brother is such a catch because he has 4 older sisters.
Yeah.
That he treats well-ish, but also he loves his mum and he's had all the
Do
training.
you know how scary that is?
Yeah.
To walk into as a woman.
But then we're calm.
There's 4 of you. And the mum. Hey.
How old is he?
He's 20. Ooh.
He's too young for you, sis.
He's too young.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he's too young for you. He's 25. Don't do this. He's got a girlfriend.
Not married.
I'm done. He's not married.
What is the wildest date you've been on? It could be negative, positive.
I thought of a bad one. Met this guy at some party and then he was like, oh yeah, let me take you out next week. So I was like, cool. I think he got me an Uber to his house. First of all, you got me an Uber to your house. And I was thinking, but aren't we going to eat? And then he got in the car. He was like 10 minutes late from even coming down from his house. Then we're driving. And then he was like, oh, I just have to make a stop quickly. I said, okay, cool. It's just something about his cousin or something. I wasn't listening. I was like, okay, whatever. Then again, he was like, oh, I've got one more stop to make. I said, oh, okay. All right. Then now things are calculated in my head.
Oh my God. So this is going to sound so silly saying it out loud. So I was actually on holiday with my sister. This was like pre-pandemic. We had like our own date set. We were like, cool, we're going to go out tomorrow, have a fun time, whatnot. So then that same night, this guy like obviously approaches me, whatnot. And he's just like, oh my God, what are you doing tomorrow? Like, we have to go out. And I was like, well, I'm kind of going out with my sister. And he invites himself onto like our sister day, which is like the weirdest thing ever. And obviously like, because I'm so polite, like I just didn't know what to say. And like the whole time I was just like, why the hell was this guy here?
And then he's like, oh yeah, one more stop. And I said, okay, what is this? Now I kind of knew what was happening. Then we get to this stop and this like guy he has to get in they have a conversation. Then he has to get in the back of the car. He says, oh yeah, sorry, we need to go to the cash point. I say, yeah, you're a drug dealer and you're taking me on your deals. You're taking me on your shots. And you think that this is a date. What's going on?
I went out with this guy. I'd met him. I'd mentioned him to my friends. One of my friends' sisters had actually been out with him before and she warned me of him. So it's a cinema date. So we get in the cinema and he doesn't want to watch the film.
What does he want to do?
He wants to play. He wants to be doing. I'm like, hey, hold up. When we finished the film, he's like, oh, let's go to the club.
What?
I said, huh? Sorry, sir, what?
He asked me out on a date. I said, yeah. He said there'll be a driver outside. I got to the restaurant and, well, I didn't get to the restaurant. I got to like this tall apartment building and he was just like, let's go. But we went through like the kitchen, like through the back of the restaurant and like everyone was like greeting him and saying hi and like everyone knew him and we sat down and like food was coming, drinks were coming, like we didn't have to order anything.
What? So he made you go to the club with him?
No.
Okay.
I walked right off, had to walk past all the people that were waiting for him. Like obviously his friends knew he was there. I don't know what kind of setup he was going for, but he wanted it to be known that we're at the club, you know, we're together. And I was just gutted. And then when I saw him about a month later, he threw ice at me and my friends in the club. Yeah, the man was crazy. So now I'm thinking maybe next time your friend tells you, don't go.
Maybe listen.
Yeah, like don't.
This was actually when I was quite young, yeah, but it's still to date, my wildest date. So this guy asks me to go cinema. So he's paid for the cinema tickets, right? And then I can't just be watching a movie and no drink, no popcorn, like just dry throat. So I'm like, yeah, I want popcorn, whatever. And he's just like, oh, I didn't plan for that. Like, I didn't think that I was gonna have to pay for that. And I was just like, okay, cool, I'll buy my own.
So I asked him, like, what do you do? And he was just like, I talk to a man about a dog, but I don't touch the dogs. So basically, I dated Ghost. No, power, Ghost.
I don't know if it was a date. It was meant to be a date, but I'm telling you, I was sold a dream. I know. Anyway, so he's like, all right, let's just go to the kebab shop. But before we even got, I know.
Kebab.
But even before we went to the kebab shop, he's like, I'm just gonna park up quickly. I need to run upstairs to my boys just to pick up something. Did this not leave me in his car? Like, locked me in the car.
So I bought all my snacks, whatever. I still got him the Ben and Jerry's ice cream. So he's eating his ice cream in the cinema. Then he's now put his hand to eat my own ice cream as well.
That one.
Taking my popcorn, eating my sweets. I was like...
And he went upstairs for like nearly an hour. I swear he was maybe at his girlfriend's house. I'm sure. So I waited in the car for an hour. I just had to, all I'm gonna do, I couldn't get out.
Thank God we've grown.
Yeah, I know. But that was the worst.
And then after that, he had the cheek. You know that thing that you do in the movies where you go... he puts his arm around. Yeah.
You didn't kiss him then?
Of course I didn't kiss him. Okay. No way. He's a cool guy though. We still talk. Shout out. He knows who he is.
Would you go hiking on a date?
On a date? Nah, that's crap.
We can't bang traditional relationships and say they're rubbish. For some people, they absolutely work.
Maybe love can form. There's some sort of love. You can love that money. When I think of money, I think of you. So essentially, I love you.